Welcome to Streams of Income with self-help author Ryan Rieger. For the next hour, you'll hear proven methods for how to live the multiple income streams dream. Ryan is passionate about helping others discover their gifts and start their own business. He's published 5 books, and his courses and group coaching programs have changed the lives of thousands of students all over the world. Ryan's books include Private Label, The Easy Way, Finding Your Grace Place, and his latest, Streams of Income. And now, here's your host, Ryan Rieger.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Streams of Income radio show. I'm your host, Ryan Rieger, and today we're chatting with my friend Colleen Law. I met her in the 48 Days Eagles group that I'm a part of. That's Dan Miller's group, and it's an awesome group for helping people figure out just which direction to take in their business and how to grow their business. And there's people from all over in there doing all different things, different types of businesses, but Colleen is unique. She has 4 different things going on. She is a professor at Liberty University. She's a tutor. She has a business where she helps people with their dissertations, a coaching business. And she also, this is the one that just blew my mind, she builds Legos as a business. So she'll build houses, build buildings for people. She gets, it's like commission work, like an artist, where people will ask her to, can you build this for me? She makes a lot of money doing this. This is so super cool. And so if you have any, I really think there's about anything you could do, turn it into a business. And Colleen is proof. And one time we had a guy on that took his love of paper airplanes and turned it into a business. And this is similar to me, where she said this is something that she just loves to do. It doesn't even feel like work. And so I took a lot of notes in this episode because just so many really good things that she talked about. She said just, how to narrow down all the different things that you have going on that you want to turn into a business, all your different interests, your skill sets. Like, how do you decide? We talk about that, how to narrow it down to the right thing for you, or how maybe you can do several different things like she is. Normally we say, you need to focus and, just follow that one path. Now with Colleen, she's got 4 things that she really loves to do, and how she balances that. We talk about how she balances that in her calendar and makes it all happen. Talk about how she breaks things down and just does the next right step, and how she just figures out, what does she want to do? How am I going to get there? And what is each step? And can she do each step? Then she just takes action. So you're going to love this episode. She's just so inspiring with everything that she's got going on and how she started. We just have a fun conversation. And I asked her, how would you start over? If you had to start all over from ground zero, what would you do to get your businesses going? We talk about that. And it was a fun conversation there, but this is just a really fun episode. I loved it. Can't wait to have her back. Here's my interview with Colleen. Colleen, welcome to Streams of Income. Thank you so much for doing this with me.
Oh, thank you so much for inviting me.
Yeah. So guys, Colleen is a friend of mine from the 48 Days Eagles group, and I volunteer there and do what they call office hours. And I get an opportunity to it's just a Zoom meeting where a bunch of people from Dan's community pop on, and we'll just have conversations about their businesses. And Colleen is one that comes on every single time I do that. And I'm just fascinated by everything she has going on, and she'll get into that. But Colleen, tell me your story, how you got started doing what you're doing.
Oh, wow. Well, I guess it all started in grad school. Okay. I was trying to write my dissertation.
Okay.
And it got to the point, at the time I was married and had kids, and the tragedy struck and my family was killed.
Oh my God.
And I actually left grad school for a while after that because I just couldn't handle it.
How long ago was that?
That was 16 years ago.
Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. I did not know that. Oh yeah. Man.
So,
wow.
Yeah. So, when it came time to go back to grad school, all of my advisors and all the professors who knew me had left or had died or were no longer there.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had to start over with a professor who did not know me and that kind of thing. Oh. And so I was doing my dissertation, and several things happened along the way that had me starting over, starting and stopping.
Mm-hmm.
And I finally was able to connect with a professor who was willing to take a chance on me who didn't know me, who I did not know.
Yeah.
And at the time, I was about 1,600 miles from my school.
Wow.
I was writing a dissertation without all of the support that you normally get.
Oh, what was your major?
It was social policy with a specialization in mental health policy. Okay. So anyway, I was lucky to find this professor. She was wonderful, and I was able to write my dissertation and finish it the last year of eligibility I had.
Wow.
Which was the 14th year.
Wow.
Right. So I finished that, and sort of at that time, I thought, well, geez, I had so many difficulties. I could help somebody who has similar difficulties.
Yeah.
But it just didn't gel at that point in time. But that's the first time it came into my mind.
Yeah. What was your goal after writing the dissertation? Was it to get a regular job, or what were you, obviously you just wanted to graduate, right? That was the first
part.
Okay. What was your plans after that?
My plan was to get a job in research.
Okay.
And do a whole bunch of research in mental health with trauma and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, not funny, but when I got out of school, I couldn't get a job as a professor who does research.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And it was because I didn't have all the teaching assistantships that people who were going into teaching would have had.
Yeah.
I had all the research ones.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, I decided to take a job as a tutor for a national organization. And I realized I love teaching.
Oh, that's so cool. Well, how old were the students you were teaching?
I was teaching anywhere from age 7 through grad school.
Wow, that's a range.
Yeah, I was teaching at the time how to take standardized tests.
Okay,
that was my specialty at the time.
Yeah.
So I was just, I was all over the place with a lot of different ages, and it was just great.
Was this in-person tutoring?
In-person tutoring, yes.
Yeah.
And so I found out I love teaching, which is really funny because all the way back into my family history, every generation there are teachers.
Okay.
But it never occurred to me to be a teacher.
Wow.
Yeah. So anyway, I actually found out I love teaching, and so decided to apply to be a teacher. And I found a job at the university that I currently teach at.
Okay.
And it's sort of history from there as far as that job is concerned.
Wow. Where is that at? What teaching?
Liberty University in Lynchburg, Virginia.
Oh, wow. Okay. And so you live in Tennessee, so you must do it virtually then?
Yes, virtually.
Okay. Wow. I actually visited that university when I was looking for colleges. I'm from Indiana. And so I knew wow, that's kind of far, but it's a really cool school. And I visited with my mom, and I loved it, but ultimately decided to stick close to home. Oh,
yeah.
Very cool. What are you teaching?
I teach health policy, public health, basically. Yeah. And I teach it to both undergraduates and graduates.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool. And then, all right. So how long have you been doing that with Liberty?
I'm going into my 10th year now.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. And that's right in line with what your dissertation was about, right? That topic. Okay.
It is.
And for those that, I've never done a dissertation. That's essentially a book, right?
Essentially, yes.
Does that get published anywhere? You're able to publish that? Okay.
It gets published depending on how you follow through with it.
Okay.
It's published in a central repository, and then you can publish pieces of it in magazine, organizational journals, and that kind of thing.
And you keep the rights to it. It's yours. You get to do it with it what you want. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. All right. So you're doing that. How'd you get into entrepreneurship and starting your own businesses?
Well, actually, that started when one of my church decided to do the 48 Days to the Work You Love seminar.
Okay. Yep.
I took that seminar and I was like, oh, wow, it just sort of blew my mind.
Yes.
And at the time I was thinking, okay, well, I could turn my Lego stuff, because I build Lego houses for people. So I said I could turn my Lego stuff into a business.
Yeah. Was that just a hobby at the time?
It was a hobby, but it was a paid hobby.
Yeah. Yeah. That's when you told me about that on one of our calls, I was like, that's amazing. I love that. I play Legos with my son, but to get paid to do that sounds really, really cool. Tell me about how'd you get started in that?
Actually, it was started when I was quite young. My brothers are 13 and 15 years younger than me.
Okay.
And so to connect with them, I was trying to find something I could do with them that we all liked.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be Legos.
Yes.
So my parents would, come in the house and it was all quiet. And they're like, wait a minute, we have 3 kids. Why is it quiet? We're all upstairs playing Legos. They're building cars and trucks and airplanes and rocket ships, and I'm building houses.
Wow. My goodness. So how was that? How'd you come about that first client? Like, how did that even come about where that somebody paid you to create a house for them?
Well, it was funny because it was actually, I had built my grandmother's house.
Okay.
Because I love that house.
Yeah.
She passed away 14 years ago. But I built that house, and then I was actually a delivery person came to my door and was dropping off a delivery.
Okay.
And saw the Lego house. And from there came my first client. He was like, you got to do this for me.
That's awesome. So, wow. Does it look, do you have pictures or a place online people can go and look at your work on that?
It's actually being developed as we speak.
Because I'd love to share that. It'd be so cool. I know it sounds like you're really, really good at people are paying you. With Legos, how accurate were you able to get it to your grandmother's house?
Oh, with my grandmother's house, very accurate. In fact, I did both the inside and the outside of her house.
What?
So I actually built the little furniture, the old time furniture, the old radio.
Wait.
Everything.
How did you do that with Legos? Like did you just have to go out and get like individual pieces? You had to go look for, literally, how did you, because there's not a set called your grandmother's house that you can go buy. So
I had to get individual pieces and use my imagination and pictures.
Wow.
Put them together.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Can I ask how much that guy paid you, and maybe in what you get paid now to do that?
Well, the first house I did, which for him was $1,400.
Whoa, that's awesome.
I just got paid $10,000 about 7 months ago to build a saloon for a gentleman who has a huge train set in his basement.
Oh, that's awesome. How big was that saloon?
It was about 6 feet high.
Whoa.
Yeah.
How long did that take you to do?
That took me about 4 months and a few days.
Wow.
Because I had to go and do research on what saloons looked like back then. And unfortunately, most of the research on the internet are old-time saloons that have been updated to be, tourist traps and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it took a while to actually find what a saloon looked like inside.
Wow. So that's hours and hours and hours. That's why you got paid so much. Wow. Yeah. That's incredible. That is so cool. How many projects like that have you done for houses and saloons, and just how many different clients have you had with that?
In the past 10 years, I've had 493 builds.
Whoa.
Yeah. And that's saloons, businesses, etc. And then actually just recently, a friend of mine and he's one of the people that I started building things with. Mm-hmm. He lives in Canada. We just built a office park for a new business.
Okay.
In Canada.
No way.
Yeah.
Is this all word of mouth?
Most of it's word of mouth.
Yeah, because you said you're just working on your website. You've been doing this 10 years. You don't even have a website. That's awesome. So guys, you don't need a website. Just start doing stuff. Just people will find out about it and word will get around. Oh, that's incredible. Wow. So you don't even have to, do you do any marketing with that? Do you or just people just come to you and you just got so many jobs?
Well, people come to me and actually it's gotten a lot busier because that saloon was built for a gentleman who was on the side of Highway 65.
Okay.
changing a tire, and he got hit. And the person that hit him just didn't stop.
Oh my gosh.
And so he was in the hospital for like 6 months. Well, his parents came up from Florida, and once I finished the saloon, they put it in his hospital room.
Oh, so everybody saw it.
So everybody, all the nurses, the doctors, the specialists, everyone. And so now I've got people calling me, and they put a little note on there.
That's incredible.
Who it was built by and how to contact me.
Wow. Oh my goodness. That's incredible.
So I am actually booked up through 2023 to build Lego houses.
Do you can you scale that? Like you said you have a friend that's helping you in Canada. Mm-hmm. So he's doing the same thing. Like you're getting the jobs and just say, hey, buddy, you build this one and I'll build this one over here.
Exactly.
Okay. Wow. Would you, if you wanted to grow more, how do you want to? I mean, you're going to look for more people that can build that. I mean, it probably takes a very special person to be able to do that.
It does. You have to be very detail oriented and very patient.
Yeah.
And it has to be something we both, my friend in Canada and I, we both just love building Legos freely.
Yeah.
You know,
it doesn't even feel like work for you.
Yeah. We can sit for hours and do it, and nothing bothers us. You know?
Yeah, that's so cool. Can you put a podcast episode on in the background while you're doing that, or do you need to concentrate on what you're doing?
Oh no, I can listen podcasts, music, everything.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
This is why I wanted to, I mean, I know you got other things going on beside this, and I want to get into that, but this just fascinates me like crazy that you took your love of Legos and turned it into a business. Man, that's so cool.
Yeah, it's really a lot of fun.
Yeah. Jeez. All right. So tell me what else you got going on besides that, because I know you got more. You're doing more with dissertations than.
Yes. Well, when I went through the 48 days to the Work You Love seminar, I went in trying with the intention of turning the Legos into the business. Although it was really a business already.
Yeah.
But then I realized, wait a minute, I can help people who are writing their dissertations.
Yeah.
You know, and I can be a coach for them.
Yeah. Do you know what that moment was, or what turned that light bulb on in your head that you made you realize that?
I can't remember the exact moment, but it was, at a point like 4 weeks into the seminar, when we really just sort of identified what our specialties are, our likes, our dislikes, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
And so then I decided, okay, it's time to do something about it. And I saw Dan Miller on a seminar. And I watched the seminar, and in that seminar, I just said, okay, it's time.
Yeah.
And by the end of the seminar, I was already signed up for 48 Days Eagles.
Okay.
And I went into the Eagles knowing that I wanted to learn everything I could learn so that I could build the business.
Yes.
So I took advantage of everything the Eagles has to offer, which is like enormous.
The library.
Yes. And then I decided I was going to get certified as a coach. And I went through the coaching mastery program.
Okay. Yeah, me too.
Okay. And you know what that's like. I mean, it's you learn so much.
Yeah.
And it's very helpful, and it builds your confidence.
Yeah.
And so from that point on, I decided, starting with coaching mastery, we have to start coaching. And so I was already doing some tutoring in that area. So I moved over into coaching, and it's been pretty good ever since. I mean, I had a lull at one point. I started out doing master's theses and doctoral dissertations.
Okay.
And when I had that lull, a friend of mine told me, niche down further. So I said, okay, I'm just doing dissertations in these 4 areas. And that's what I decided to do.
Yes.
And I have a waiting list now.
Wow.
For the rest of the year.
Oh my goodness. What does that coaching look like practically? Like a session, number of sessions, and is it on Zoom and all that?
It's on Zoom, and the number of sessions varies by the type of coaching that you've asked for. I have both individual coaching and group coaching.
Okay.
And I have packages within each of those.
Perfect.
Most people choose 6-month coaching. Okay.
Individual or group?
In a group, yes.
They do the group?
Yes. Okay. And usually what it looks like is every week there is a group session, and then they have every 2 weeks, they have one session with me alone.
Okay.
And then they also have access to me throughout that whole time.
That's awesome.
So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. How'd you get that first client?
First client, actually, she had asked me, I was tutoring her, and she had asked me if there was a more in-depth level that we could go to, because she really wanted to finish her dissertation quickly. And I said, well, there is, I have my own business. I said, I coach. She goes, oh, and so luckily the tutoring service I work for, I still work for them.
Right now you do?
Right now I do.
Oh, wow. So you're a professor for Liberty University. You're a tutor at that company. You're a Lego creator, and you have a dissertation thesis coaching business.
Yes.
Anything else?
No, that's it.
4 things. Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah. So luckily the tutoring service allows people to tell people about other businesses and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And she just moved over from my tutoring student to my coaching student.
Wow. That's awesome.
So she was my first.
Yeah. And so you help people get their theses and their dissertations written?
Well, just the dissertations now.
Oh, just okay. So you folk written this down. Okay. Yeah. Did you find, was it, you feel like people start broad and then niche down as they go?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
That's what I found too. And once you niche down, you find your audience, and it becomes kind of easier because then you can who you're focused on.
Exactly.
Yeah. How did that help your business when you were able to, this is who I'm focused on right here?
Well, once I niched down to just dissertation students, in 2 weeks, I doubled my income.
No way.
And I tripled the number of students I had.
Wow. Why do you think that is? Like what logistically or practically happened besides you just deciding in your head, I'm going to niche down and just focus on dissertations?
Well, everyone I talked to, the way I started the coaching business was that because I didn't know any other way to do it, was I was calling retention officers at colleges and universities and talking to them.
Okay.
And they would then recommend students to me.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
You were just making cold calls?
Cold calls.
Wow.
I didn't know any other way to do it at the time.
That's awesome.
I had started coaching mastery and everything.
Man.
So I started with the cold calls.
Yeah.
And so once, 10 people I had 10 students, they actually came back and said, hey, I have a friend, and so it was word of mouth for the longest time.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have to do any advertising right now?
Right now, no. In fact, right now I'm so full. Gosh. I'm the only coach I have at the moment.
Yeah.
In my business. So I am so full right now that I
yeah. Do you feel like you could, do you want to hire people underneath you to do some of the work?
Yes, I do. But I also, it's hard to figure out how to vet people.
Yeah.
To do that.
Yeah.
Because you have to have a certain, first of all, knowledge level.
Sure.
A certain patience.
Yeah.
And you also have to have the ability to ask very good questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
you only learn that after teaching for a while.
Yeah. Wow. Interesting.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I have
Go ahead.
I'm sorry?
I was saying that's amazing. You just started making cold calls. I love your initiative. Go ahead. What were we going to say?
My brother wants me to hire, some of his friends. I keep saying, no, wait a minute.
Sure.
I'm going to build this business first.
Yeah.
And then I will determine how to best go about vetting people to be coaches within my business.
That's awesome. You need somebody, obviously, it sounds like you need, for the Lego side, you need somebody with patience. For this, you need patience too. Yeah. So you put an ad out. Are you patient? Come talk to me. That's awesome. Wow. So you have 4 things going on. And this is another thing I wanted to chat with you about and just get your thoughts on it, because typically in business, people are starting a business and they have all these different ideas. Like, I could do this, and I'm kind of interested in this too. We usually say, kind of just focus on one and get one started and then move on to the next. And I guess you've kind of done that, but none of those have dropped off for you. You're still doing all 4. How do you manage all of that? And then, so let's start there. How do you manage all 4 things?
Well, first, my teaching at the University at Liberty is virtual. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I have, a set schedule as to when I'm teaching and that kind of thing. Okay. So that helps. The other thing is, with my 2 businesses, I use Dan Miller's 20 hours a week model.
Yep.
Okay. And so I do color blocking time blocking on my calendar.
Oh, nice.
So I know what days I'm doing what things. Yeah. So for example, my coaching business, I devote Monday and Tuesday to my coaching business.
Nice.
And I teach Wednesday through Friday. Okay. And then I do all the administrative stuff for my teaching on Saturday, and I do Legos on Saturday and Sunday.
Oh, wow.
And then tutoring just gets in there. I have 5 tutoring students that are long-term tutoring students. Okay. So they just get in there at certain periods during the day.
When you have to be very scheduled and organized to be able to do what you do. That's incredible. How many hours a week do you think you work?
Actually, I did 128 hours.
Whoa! Oh my goodness!
Last semester.
Oh my goodness! 120 hours a week. Now, part of that, you're just hanging out and playing Legos and having fun, and you're still getting paid for it.
Yeah.
When you sit down and do Legos, how long do you go?
Oh boy! Sometimes I will go 9 hours at a time.
Oh my goodness! That's incredible.
I just lose track.
That's so cool.
The creative juices just flow.
This is every kid's dream, to be able to, to get paid to build Legos. That's so neat.
Yeah. It's great. I mean,
do you think there's a course? Fun. Is there a course there for Lego lovers? How to have your own Lego building business? Obviously, there's more than just taking it. What we're doing right now, my son will be 5 on Sunday. So we're pulling out the sets and we're looking in the book, and there's nothing creative about that right now. I mean, he'll play creatively with what we've built, but we're following instructions. Yours is a whole different level. But do you think you could teach somebody to do what you're doing and have a business like that?
I probably could. I know there's a lot of people on YouTube that teach how to build different aspects of houses and things like that. So I'm sure I could build it if I wanted to.
Yeah.
I haven't really wanted to.
Yeah. You don't have any extra time for that.
No.
Something would have to drop off.
Yeah. And I just enjoy the whole process of building.
Yeah. Wow. What's of the 4 things you have going on, do you have a favorite that is one of your, or do you like having all those different things going on because it breaks it up?
I like having the different things going on, because I can, if I'm having a tough time in one, I can
go build some Legos.
Yeah, that's right.
Sounds like that's therapeutic for you. You're able to hey, I want to take a break. It's almost, do you have to engage your mind very much when you're building Legos, or can you just build kind of mindlessly and is it relaxing?
Most of the time I can build mindlessly.
That's awesome.
But when someone has come in with a very specific palette of colors and that kind of thing, then I have to engage my mind a little bit more.
Yeah.
Try to figure out, okay, how do I do this and this?
Yeah. That kind I think it would be hard. It's like trying to decide what bricks to buy. Like where do you even buy your Lego bricks that when you're not buying sets, you're literally buying, I need 100 of red and 100 in blue.
Well, I actually do 2 things. first of all, there is a site called Bricklink.
Okay. Bricklink. Yes, I've heard of that.
Yeah. And it has people who sell Legos all over the world.
Yeah.
Okay. So I can go on there, and if I need 1,000, sand green Legos of a certain kind, I can just go on there and go to a particular store and order that.
Nice.
But also, I go to not the Salvation Army. What's the other con?
Like Goodwill or
Goodwill. I go to Goodwill, and there are a lot of people who just give away their Legos to Goodwill.
Oh, wow.
So I go to Goodwill and look in the boxes.
That's awesome.
And many times there are brand new bricks in the boxes. They're still in the plastic.
No way. Wow.
Yeah. So I'm rummaging through boxes at Goodwill's, and I will buy entire boxes.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's incredible. I love this business model. Wow. Okay. So with I saw that you were on Dan Warheide's podcast, Pro Growth Podcast, and you were talking about the approach for narrowing down ideas. So what is your approach for that? When somebody feels like they have multiple interests like you do, and are wondering like, gosh, how do I decide which one to do? Because I like all these things, and they're going to love listening to this because you've essentially freed them up to be able to think, whoa, maybe I could do all of them. Maybe not start them all at the same time. I don't know. But what is your process for narrowing down those ideas?
Well, the first step in the process is to figure out, what do I really want to do? Okay. Mm-hmm. And you write those down. And that, for me, that came to 4 things: teach, tutor, build Legos, and coach.
That's awesome.
Okay. And so then I decided, what is the one of those 4 things because it was 4 for me. Mm-hmm. What's the one of those 4 things that would be a sustained process, a sustained business that's scalable? And coaching rose to the top.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I knew I was always going to keep my teaching as a job because I love it so much.
That's awesome.
Okay. So coaching was the next thing. So that's why I said, okay. So I just kept doing the next right step in the coaching business.
Yes.
Okay. And as I built coaching, I found that I needed downtime.
Yeah.
The next level thing was the Legos.
Yeah.
I never stopped doing the Legos, but I knew I needed more time to do that as well.
Yeah.
So then I actually took some challenges by Teresa McCloy that helps you figure out your time in your calendar.
Yeah.
And went through that and was able to come up with a calendar that allowed me to do all 4 things that I love.
Wow. Gosh. On this episode here, I'm just looking at this because it was really helpful for me in preparing for this. I don't know if it was Dan or Elizabeth that wrote this on their podcast that they did with you, but sometimes it can be hard to narrow down business ideas, and we can put pressure on ourselves to find the one right thing for us. But what if the right work plan for you isn't just one thing, but a few different businesses where you can pursue multiple ideas and use a variety of different skills and abilities? You've proven that that's possible. Do you think it takes a special person to be able to do that? Like, are you different than most people being able to schedule the time? Or do you feel like, or I guess tell me, like, if you're talking to somebody that wants to have several interests like you, and they want to do them all, what's your advice if you already had the Legos going, and you already had the teaching going, and you were already doing tutoring? So what about that person that they haven't started a business yet, but they have several different interests? How would you help them decide, like which one to start first, and in how to dabble in these things without, taking up too much time? And you know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, I do know what you're saying. And one of the first things that I ask people is, what is the one thing you can do, and you can keep it going for years? that you're not going to get tired of.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good.
Usually people can come up with 2 or 3 different things.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm like, okay, now, is there one that requires less of your mind space than another?
Yep.
Someone, people think about that and they say, okay, yeah, I can figure that out. Well, why don't you try both of those?
Yeah.
One that takes less of your mind space and one that you know that you can do and sustain and build a business with.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's really the way I started with the 2, coaching and the Legos.
Yeah.
Okay. Because the Legos was the downtime with less mind space, and the coaching was high mind space.
Yes.
And, all of that.
Yeah.
And so that's really how I started it.
Yeah.
Okay. And so I ask people if they want to do multiple things, to start out with the 2 things, one with a high mind space, one with a low mind space.
Yeah, that's good advice. I'm taking notes here. High mind space versus low mind space. Then you don't get burned out.
That's right.
If you had to start over on the Lego business, start over fresh right now. Well, how would you get started to build it not as a hobby, but as a business, to build it to where you are now? What would be that first step? Because there's a lot of people that are like, man, that sounds so cool. Now, I don't like Legos, but I'm really good at this over here, and I'd love to turn this into a business. But what's that advice for them somebody who's starting from ground zero right now?
First thing, are there any free or just free, like if you were doing, so someone in the Eagles that builds roller coasters, wooden roller coasters. Okay. So I would say, is there any free building roller coaster contests?
Okay.
Anywhere in your area? Like in Nashville, the public library has this contest.
Okay.
And it has different age groups.
Okay.
Go to the contest, insert something, build something.
Yep.
People will follow you.
That's right. Because on those contests, I imagine there's going to be a place where it'll say it's built by Colleen Law. Here's the website or email or phone number.
That's right. So that would be the way you'd start.
So yeah, so for you, let's say the Legos, you're starting over fresh from the Legos. Is there a contest around that or
there are lots of contests as well as lots of places where you can just sort of show what you have built.
Yeah.
And it's all around the country. You just have to be good at finding them on the internet.
Yeah.
And then go there.
Yeah. What if there's not a contest? Let's say I'm sure you can find something, but let's just make it a little bit harder. Let's say there's no contest. I have some ideas. I want to see what you would say too, because there's probably lots of really good ideas for this. But what would you do? There's no contest around for Lego building. How are you going to get your business started?
Well, first of all, I build certain things. And then there's these people in the Lego community called MOCers, my own creations.
Okay.
Connect with some MOCers. A lot of them have their own websites.
Nice.
They will host your pictures of your creation.
Perfect.
On their websites.
Love it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just to give them ideas and to give other people ideas.
Yes.
It's a really friendly community, to be part of.
Yeah.
So you do that.
Yes.
Also, get online on different Lego groups. There's one called Adult Fans of Legos. Okay. Just show pictures. Of what you've built. People will come to you. How did you do that? Can you do that for me? That kind of thing.
You just need one, don't you? You need one to kick it off. You just get that first client, and then you post pictures of that one, or they're going to tell their friends, or it's going to be posted in their house, and friends are going to come over like, that's amazing. Where'd you get that? Oh, I don't even know her, but I found her online. Her name's Colleen, and she builds Legos.
Yep.
And then just starts the ball rolling. Another idea I had is, you could go, there's millions of things you could probably do, but just find a place where, there's going to be people that would see it. Like maybe your local state fair, like I'll volunteer, contact them and say, I'll build it for free. It doesn't even cost you anything because it's advertising for you. Yeah. I wouldn't build something that takes you 4 months, but maybe a few weeks to build and do a really good job. And maybe it's I don't know, a building that's maybe you're a skyscraper in your city, or you know, I don't know, it's something that would be, people would look at and think it's really, really cool and offer it to put on display. You could, just find a place where people would be and offer to contact those people that are a business, or just say, can I build, a replica of your business for you? And you can display it and you can keep it. But, I want my name to be there because, obviously I'm doing this for advertising purposes. So, wow, that's so cool.
I mean, I've done all of that.
That's amazing.
And it's been a lot of fun. And my partner, David, in Canada, he does it. He's done it for more years than I have.
Wow. How'd you find him?
Actually, it was really funny. We connected on a Lego board.
Okay.
And he was looking for a very specific part that he could not find.
Okay.
I found it.
Oh, wow.
And I emailed him. He's like, I want it. Where do I go to get it? And then he went to the site and he couldn't find it.
Okay.
Came back to me. Excuse me. And I got all the parts he needed to build this particular train.
Okay.
And sent it to him.
Oh, wow.
And he was like, all right. And it just built from there.
And you became friends.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Man, I love this. You're so fun to talk to. We could talk for hours. Anything else that you're doing, or anything else on your heart that you want to share with folks getting started, or, you've been doing lots of podcasts and you're involved in the Eagles group. What's some of the motivational stuff that you tell people?
Oh, wow. One of the big things is if you're going to have multiple things that you're doing, you have to work on your mindset. Okay. And I came into the Eagles with more of a victim mentality simply because of my background.
Sure.
Okay. 2 weeks into the Eagles and going through the classes and so on and so forth and talking to people like Marianne Renner.
Yeah.
My mindset changed. I became a person who was, okay, I can do this. This is how I'm going to do it. These are the steps I'm going to take. And then I just go through and do those steps.
Yes.
And that's what I do with everything I do. It's like, okay, Colleen, do you want to do it? Yes. Okay, let's figure out how to do it. What are the steps?
Yeah.
Okay, write them down. 3, can I move through each of those steps? Yes. 4, do it.
That's so simple.
Yeah, it's really simple. But the more you believe in yourself, I believe the more reserve you have to deal with all sorts of things, and therefore do lots of things.
Yeah.
Wow. I have found that I have more energy. I have more mental ability, to deal with 4 different things at one time, and to deal with the vagaries of life. And I just have this knowledge just keeps growing and growing and growing because I'm reading books and talking to people and doing podcasts and listening to podcasts, and it's wonderful.
So cool. Oh my goodness. Where do people find you if they want to reach out to you about the Legos, or if they need tutoring with their dissertations?
Well, if for coaching, it's abdcoachingsolutions.com.
ABD?
Yes. ABD stands for all but dissertation. Okay. And most people in the education community knows what that stands for.
Okay.
Okay. If they want to talk about career kind of things, they can go to what is that? I can't even remember it now.
All right. You can send me the link and I'll put it in the show notes.
Okay. Yeah. OneBalancedBrain.com. That's it.
One down. What's that? Sorry.
OneBalancedBrain.com.
OneBalancedBrain.com. And with the Legos, you're too booked out anyway, so it doesn't even matter.
Yeah. I also have some Lego stuff that I built on the One Balanced Brain.
Oh, cool.
I'm building a website that's specifically for.
Let me know when you get that done, because I'll put it in the show notes for people that listen to this later.
Great. Yeah.
That's so cool. I love this. You're so fun and you're so creative. And I love how you just turned what most people would call a hobby into a serious business that you're booked out till 2023. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, Colleen, thank you so much. You are welcome back anytime. If you ever come up with number 5, the fifth thing that you're working on, you let me know, because then we'll talk about how you're doing it all at that point then.
Okay, that's great.
Well, God bless you. Just appreciate you, and thanks for all you're doing in the Eagles group.
Oh, you're welcome. I love it.
All right.
All right.
You've been listening to Streams of Income with self-help author Ryan Rieger. From right here in the Dallas Metroplex, Ryan teaches several entrepreneurial courses and group coaching programs to students all over the world. Be sure to listen next week at the same time for Streams of Income with Ryan Rieger.